Ozark Trail. We like that brand here, and we like the Ozark Trail Ridge. Oh, M.2 Ridge. I've been waiting for this moment. We have to go back in time to find out why. Back to the bike shop at Walmart. Actually, no, wait. We need to go back further. Back to my original video on the Ozark Trail Ridge 29 mountain bike. A bike that I've made multiple videos on, covering every detail, even some upgrades. Regular viewers know all about this. As much as I like that bike and what it is for the price, a few months ago I got word there was an updated version circulating around. And talk about a tough hill to climb, I've been struggling trying to get my hands on one. So desperate that I lobbied the only contact I have at Walmart. Let me know where one is, just tell me a store, I'll drive to go get it. I got nothing but crickets. It took this long for one of my 3 local Walmart stores to finally roll one out on the shelf, and I happened to be there, or be near. I caught it the day that it came out, I do believe, and here we are. The M.2 Ridge 29. I'm going to look this over quick, and let's see if there's any other differences. I know there are 2 major ones, but it turns out there are a few subtle tweaks, so let's go over it together and see what's special about this M.2 Ridge 29. We're going to start up top at the bars, where instantly I notice index markings that weren't there on either of my other 3 Ridge 29s. Easy adjustments, easy centering with this. I mentioned this in many of my videos, and I like it when I mention something in a video and it comes to pass. Probably coincidence. Now this could just be my eyes, but to me it looks like the rise on these bars is ever so slightly less. Width 740 millimeters, I know because I borrowed a measuring tape from the hardware section. Grips, the same lock-ons, that's good, but I noticed there's torque values on them now. I like that. I noticed a difference here too. These brake levers, there was radius branding on the originals, no radius now. Let's look a little closer. Actually, we're going to come back to that shifter, a micro shift advent. Going to be important, one of the 2 big changes. But let's stick to these brakes for a moment because they are officially not radius. Now they are JAK Super Brake. Not my favorite, not the most consistent performer for me. They're either good or bad. Hopefully you get a good one, but they are JAK Super Brakes. But I do see there is a trade-off gained by going to these. The front rotor has been upped to 180 millimeters. The rear 160, but still a brake upgrade overall since it's 180 up front, but just JAK. I'll leave it at that. And while I'm back here, a quick look at the hub to see if there's any new branding, anything like that. This looks to be the same to me. At least at the hub, but I noticed something else, something that wasn't there on the original Ozark Trail 29. This one has a kickstand. The original had mounts, but no stand, any of the 3 that I had. Now there's a stand. An addition at no extra cost, not something you run into every day. Tapered head tube, check. Same fork, check. This is acceptable for the price. The big 29er wheels, it's all still here. Still wrapped with the Kendas, the same hybrid tread. I would have preferred knobbier, but they stuck with the hybrid tread. But these aren't exactly the same because I get down here and I see that the Kenda branding is now gold. It was a black wall. Now it's gold, but it's the same 29 by 2.35 sizing. I checked the front hub for any visible changes too, and it's the same as before as far as I can tell. Square taper, 170 millimeter alloy crank arms, and pedals that any rider will be replacing. Standard stuff here, all carryovers. This chainring, this is an update. I count 32 tooths, so that's not a difference. The raw chainring here versus the old plastic chain guard type, which I was not a fan of, so I'm happy they went with the raw chainring. Also see they slightly updated the spoke design of the chainring. Now it looks less budget and more in line with mimicking popular mountain bike style. You know, that's another change that I had mentioned would be better, so I guess I'm going 2 for 2. Well, 3 for 3 if you count the index markings on the handlebars. But that's a small tweak rather than performance enhancement. For real change, let's go to the back of the drivetrain where they've updated the derailleur. It's no longer the L2, now it's sporting a micro shift acolyte to go with that micro shift shifter, and this acolyte is sporting a clutch. A clutch derailleur is a big deal, and remember, this is a big improvement on a bike that has not changed in price since it was released, at least at the time I'm making this video, so an acolyte with a clutch advent shifter, very nice. Now I had to get a closer look here at this cassette to see if anything changed, and by the way, that cart that's turning around was a Walmart employee trying to get where I was. I didn't even notice till I'd finished filming. How nice of them to accommodate me. But this here 42 tooth, That's the low gear. Go up to the high gear, and I'll get zoomed in on it here. By the way, you can see that lock ring. This is a cassette, but as I spin around, it becomes evident this is an 11 to 42 tooth. So this is going to be the same ranging on the drivetrain as before, which is completely acceptable. Even better because it's paired with the new clutched derailleur and the new shifter, and don't forget we lost that tacky plastic up on the chainring. So they've added some small changes, but viewers kept telling me there's two main differences. That's one. What's the second one? Well, that's on the frame. Not the frame design, because it looks to be the same. Tapered head tube, the top tube, the down tube look the same. There's internal cable routing. There's this thing at the back. Wait, that thing? Let me go do a quick back and forth here. The M.2, now the original, which doesn't have that thing. What is that? Well, that's a mount point for a cable to be ran externally. See, this new Ozark Trail M.2, while it does have sized frames and it does have internal cable routing, one of the things I complained about on the previous bike, look, this is a case of be careful what you ask for. For years on this channel, I've kind of developed a set of demands for a bike to meet a minimal standard to be considered a mountain bike, even by budget standards. And as time went on, my demands got more. I wanted frames that were modern and frames with internal cable routing, which is great, until I decide that I want to upgrade mechanical disc brakes to hydraulic disc brakes. Well, if it has internal cable routing, that becomes significantly more difficult. Hydraulic disc brakes have mineral oil, there's brake bleeding, it's a whole thing. So when it comes time to upgrade them, especially going to the back where it has to go through the frame, and I mentioned that as a struggle in many videos, and bike manufacturers, even budget bike manufacturers, started listening because brands started showing up with external cable routing, even on a new frame. And I know they designed it this way to address that specific complaint because there's still internal cable routing, but that rear brake solely on its own goes to the back, or in this case, the dropper as well. But internal, external hybrid that basically just took away one port, and this has happened on many bikes. Ozark Trail did the same thing, but with the best possible twist. They left the existing internal cable routing exactly as it is, but added an optional cable routing to go to the back externally. I really like this, and there's that thing. Goes to the back, completely takes out if I want to upgrade the back to hydraulic. It makes it super easy and important since this now has JK Super Brakes that I would definitely want to be upgrading from. But this is a really good solution. But you know, it seems very familiar for some reason. It's almost like routing on the bottom of the frame. For the rear brake only, that idea would have came from. Where would that idea have came from? Oh yes, I remember. I actually did this on my Ozark Trail bike with mount points in practically the exact same spots. Was there any inspiration here? I don't particularly care. I care about the end result, and the end result is the new M.2 having an option, internal cable routing or external, on the same beautiful frame. Excellent job maintaining all of the functionality that was there before, including the ability to run a dropper and not having little 27.2 dropper post size, having legit dropper post size stuff. Look, these are true mountain bikes. These Ozark Trail Ridge bikes, whether it's the original Ridge or the M.2 Ridge, they're true mountain bikes, and they're upgradable mountain bikes. They can grow with the rider. And now with the easier routing, there's a more practical path for new rider growth. This is absolutely perfect, and the price has maintained the same, at least at the time of making this video. I'm absolutely astounded. Actually, doubly so, because Ozark Trail, this appears to be a brand that's rider-centric, a brand at Walmart, owned by Walmart, that actually listens to riders to better the bikes based on people's opinions and their wants. Wow is the only word that comes to mind. We're lucky in general as big box bikes purchasers and big box bikes riders that there's so much out there, including this Ozark Trail. There are other brands that are as good, though this one captures a lot of the attention. I will tell you that this Ozark Trail brand, it gets trail cred. I know people that have expensive high-end mountain bikes that also have an Ozark Trail Ridge 29. And now I regularly see riders on an Ozark Trail bike at the trails for the first time having a blast. And it looks like they've made it even better and didn't change the price. So respect. Now this does bring up one thing, something I've been asked personally, I've been asked on my website, I've been asked on videos. Would you get a new Ozark Trail Ridge if you had the previous one? Would you go to this M.2? Well, I say no. I didn't buy this one. That's why I filmed it in the store. And the reason is I already have a Ridge 29. And the few differences that do exist, while they are nice, I've already started upgrading my previous bike. I think most people that have one of these have already tweaked it out a little. So there's no real reason to go for these parts. Now, if you are shopping for one of these new, between the two, yeah, I'd wait it out and try to find the M.2. Given the same price, it is better. And I'm also pulling double duty while I'm filming here because I'm going over and setting up for one of my next videos, which is the Holiday Buyer's Guide, or the late 2024-2025 Buyer's Guide, the best bikes to be looking at, so stay tuned for that. But as far as the Ozark Trail Ridge 29 M.2, a really nice bike. It appears Walmart is listening, and Walmart, since you're listening, how about you consult me on some of the next version, the M.3. I have ideas. How about an air fork, a budget air fork and a budget dropper for an extra $150? I'd buy that. I think other people would too. And how about an e-mountain bike version? No hub motor. We're talking torque-based mid-drive. Let's talk Walmart. Feel free to reach out. But that's my opinions, my quick overview on the M.2. What do you think? Comment below. Subscribe for even more content. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day.